have physical representations of things that make you feel happy and make you feel at peace. And I found that that has really actually helped elevate my mood. It has actually really helped to bring me to a state of peace and happiness. So some of the things I have that sort of like make me feel good is that I think I showed on Instagram before, I have these little like quotes from Bible scriptures, like positive quotes and scriptures from the Bible that are encouraging and motivating, and those really help to make me feel good. So I have those things that help to remind me of who I am. I also have like little notes, like I have a notes from like a past supervisor that I had an internship in New York, who just gave me like this wonderful sort of like card saying that, okay, I'm grateful for your positive efforts, woman power. So I have that I look to when I'm feeling like, okay, I'm not the best that I can be. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isioma Onanye, and my channel is all about personal development, women empowerment, mental health, life and culture in Nigeria. So for today, I want to talk about finding your way back to peace, finding your way back to a good state of mind. Now, I think that this is a very important topic because so often we can get stressed, we can get anxious, no matter what stage of life that you're in, whether you're in your teenage years, whether you're in your young adult years, there's always something that can make somebody feel very stressed or very anxious in life. I know that to me particularly, I remember when I was in university, my very first few years, I always felt very, very anxious because I was thinking so much about schoolwork, my studies, getting good grades, getting good internships, getting employment. So all of this stuff used to cause me to feel very stressed and very anxious. And it took me a while to sort of like learn how to deal and figure out how to sort of like be less anxious, be less stressed, and find my way back to peace. And I think that's one of the things that I started taking up from my university days, which I talk about often, is exercise. I started learning that through exercising, through running on the treadmill, I felt a sense of calm, I felt a sense of peace, and it helped to ease my anxiety. And that's what I do to this day. I continue to take my exercise regime very seriously. I might not go as often as I want. Maybe sometimes it might be once a week, maybe sometimes it might be twice a week, but I still try to make sure that I go and I have a run, or even if it's just walking, it still matters, and it helps me to feel a sense of, peace and no stress, no anxiety. So if you're somebody that stresses a lot or has lots of anxious thoughts, I recommend that you try some form of exercise and do what works for you. If you're not somebody that likes to run, you can walk and it's still exercise. Maybe you can like ride a bicycle, maybe you can like take a dance class. If you're very flexible, maybe you can try yoga and meditation, which is something I want to go back to because I haven't really made as much time and effort as I did my yoga classes. So you could also try that to help you to like relieve stress, anxieties, and tension. Now, another way, a second tip for you to sort of like get back to your peace and get back to your center is to be mindful of what you focus on. Something that I've begun to realize these days as I become to learn more about myself and just understand my thought patterns more, is that what you focus on affects your level of peace. So sometimes when you are obsessing over little things, when you're like I said, when I was in university, I was obsessing over grades, I was obsessing over internships and jobs, and that's what affected my level of anxiety and stress. So sometimes, as cheesy as it sounds, when you obsess over your challenges, when you obsess over your problems, it affects your mentality, it affects your mental health, and it's what really, you obsessing over the problem is what helps to elevate the problems in your mind, and then you now become anxious and you're upset over things. So really be careful about what you direct your attention to. Really be careful about what you direct your focus on. So what's helping me relieve my anxiety and stress these days is to be focused on things that make me happy, is to be focused on things that make me productive, even though every now and then certain things will come on and there are problems that we have, that's life. And sometimes the problems can take over certain moments of your day And that happens. There are certain days where you might not be in a good mood. There are certain moments where you might find yourself upset. But in general, in order for you to not fester in that state of anxiousness and stress, you have to learn to refocus your thoughts to things that are more positive and to things that will make you more happy. Now, my third tip for how to really find your way back to peace, find your way back to the center, is to really reflect on the things that matter to you. So one tip that I got from a mental health professional is that she said that sometimes when you're feeling very stressed and anxious, what you should do is that you should sort of like have these things that remind you of your happiness, remind you of your peace. So like just have things that sort of remind you of who you are and that make you feel good, and you can keep that in either a jar, or you can just have a little section where you keep those things that make you happy. So when you are feeling anxious or upset, just bring up these things, like have physical representations, not only just reflecting back to moments, have physical representations of things that make you feel happy and make you feel at peace. And I found that that has really actually helped elevate my mood. It has actually really helped to bring me to a state of peace and happiness. So some of the things I have that sort of like make me feel good is that I think I showed on Instagram before, I have these little like quotes from Bible scriptures, like positive quotes and scriptures from the Bible that are encouraging and motivating, and those really help to make me feel good. So I have those things that help to remind me of who I am. I also have like little notes, like I have a note from like a past supervisor that I had an internship in New York, who just gave me like this wonderful sort of like card saying that, okay, I'm grateful for your positive efforts, woman power. So I have that I look to when I'm feeling like, okay, I'm not the best that I can be, I'm not so good enough. Like I have that to remind me of who I am. I also have a note from like a teacher telling me that I have a good voice and I have a great insight. So I have all these physical things. I even have some like little things that I can go back to in my journal from things that I wrote in my past about like positive moments I've had with God. And those things just sort of like helped elevate my mood and puts me in a good state of mind. So you too also need to have these positive physical representations of things that can put you in a good mood. And lastly, I would say that another way for you to foster that level of peace or go back to a peaceful state is to reflect on the word, is to reflect on God's goodness and God's mercy in your life. I think that this is where having a relationship with God comes in, because too often sometimes when we are stressed and we are anxious, that means that we have sort of like put God away from us, like we've kept a distance between ourselves and God. But what I've been coming to realize is that the more I bring God closer into my life, the more that I realize that I have no control. And having no control, in a way, sometimes it frees you. It gives you this level of peace, because you realize that, okay, at the end of the day, God has the final say about what goes on in my life. At the end of the day, God controls my future. God controls my destiny. So yes, I do still need to wake up and show up and go after the things that I want in order for God to bless me. But knowing that this God that we serve is the greatest human being in the world. He is the one looking down on us. He is the one writing each and every chapter of our story. Helps me to know that, okay, if I know God and I serve God and I love God with all my heart, then I know that He is going to do good things in my life. He is going to work out great promises in my life. So why stress? Why be anxious if you know that God is on the throne and God knows who you are? God knows who you are in your heart. God knows that you love Him. God knows that you serve Him. God knows that you are doing things with good intentions. Then why be stressed? Why be anxious? Just trust that the promises that God has given you, what God has said He's going to make manifest in your life, will happen. So no need to be stressed. No need to be anxious. Just know that God is on the throne and He is writing every chapter of your life, and He's making it the most beautiful story. And this isn't always easy, because there are definitely some moments, like I'll admit, I'll have moments where I'm angry at God and I'm just like, God, what happened? I thought our story was going to be different. I thought things were going to be better. I thought I was going to be this successful lady by now. Like, God, what happened? And then I tell myself that, okay, life is not over yet. I'm still waking up. I'm still living, and God still has an amazing story for me. So then why be stressed? Just trust that everything is working according to his plan, and everything is working according to your good. And I was going to do that as my last one, but the last one is also, you have to make the efforts to do things that will give you peace. You have to make the efforts to do things that bring you to a good state of mind, because sometimes what we can do is that we can get in a rut, and we can just stay in a rut, and we expect our life to change. We expect ourselves to get to a happier state, but that's not enough. Like I said, I don't always like to exercise, but I know the impact of exercise on my mood, so I have to make an effort to run. And I also have to make an effort to do the things that make me happy, like being in nature. See, I'm a floral lover, I'm a nature lover. I don't know why, but that thing is just in me. Like being in nature, seeing flowers, being in gardens, like it puts me in the best mood. Like it brings me so much peace and joy. And I don't know whether I was meant to be be in nature, whether I was secretly born in a garden, I don't know, but like this nature stuff makes me so happy. So like just being in parks, being in natures puts me in a good mood, and just making an effort to do things that are light and funny, like just chilling, hanging out with the family, watching a good movie. Like these are just like making an effort to do things that will make you happy and peaceful. So you also have to take the time to figure out what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel good, what puts you at ease, and then do it. Because if you don't do it, you're going to continue to remain in this state of feeling anxious and stressed. And why be anxious? Be anxious for nothing, because God is on the throne, people. Be anxious for nothing, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would love to know your own thoughts on how do you find your way back to peace? How do you find your way back to your center? How do you find your way back into a good state of mind? Definitely share your thoughts with me in the comment section. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel. You're watching this video, you might as well subscribe and support me. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on my next video. Take care.